Thank you, Administrator, for being here. As you know, Kennedy Space Center and NASA's efforts are very important to Florida and to the Florida economy. When the Obama administration shut down manned flight, we lost about 7,000 jobs, which impacted our economy, but plus it impacted the talent that stayed around the Space Coast to impact future NASA missions. So we were able to, through what the private sector did, and as a governor, we spent $230 million investing in the Space Coast, and now it's thriving again. And a lot of it's because of very good decisions Kennedy Space Center made, and on top of that, these private companies have just poured in an unbelievable amount of money. What do you need? And we all know the importance of what you're doing. How difficult it is to come up with the numbers that it takes so you can defend, when you come here to ask for resources? How do you figure? How do you do it?
So it is exceptionally difficult, and I'll tell you what. First of all, what Kennedy has done is amazing. Becoming a multi-user spaceport where you've got private sector companies launching rockets side by side with NASA and Air Force and everybody else, commercial, government. And one other thing, Bob Cabana is the center director down there, and he's done amazing work to grow that industry in Florida. But I think one of the areas where the rest of the country could help is modeling the investments that the state of Florida made into that space center that ultimately is enabling NASA to accomplish its mission. And so I want to tell you, from the agency perspective, we are grateful for your leadership when you were governor to help us keep that going. So I just want to be on the record with that. And there are other states around the country that could do similar things. A couple of other points as far as like the idea of how do we come up with these kind of schedules, given how complex these missions are. It's very difficult because when we do these things, we're inventing for the first time subsystems to subsystems. And depending on how those work, then we can put them in the subsystems. And then those subsystems are being invented for the first time, and then we put them in the systems. And so there is a very difficult process here where we're not mass producing automobiles, for example. We are inventing things for the first time. We're developing things for the first time. NASA is not, we're not a manufacturing organization. We are a development organization. And now we do it alongside with a lot of these commercial partners that, of course, are operating out of the Kennedy Space Center. So it is often hard. I'll tell you where we are not good as an agency. What we like to do in many cases is come up with a plan. If everything goes right, here's the end state. Oh, by the way, we'll put in 50% margin. But if any one thing goes wrong along that path, you can eat up that 50% margin just like this, and it has follow-on effects. And so the risk is still there, but so the risk continues on the schedule, but at the same time, the margin is gone. And so this puts us in a situation where we need to be more realistic about schedule and cost as we go forward. The agency has always, one of the things I love about the agency is that so many people there have this can-do spirit. A lot of people there, they want to make it happen. They believe they can make it happen. They're some of the smartest people in the country, and I believe they can make it happen. But because our missions and our systems are sometimes so complex, and this is the biggest challenge, because they're so complex, any small change that has to be made takes a long time to fix. And so we have had a hard time with that, as has been indicated by the Inspector General reports, the GAO reports. That's why we're making changes at the top of leadership within the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate, but it's something we need to get better at.
Is there things that we can do and that NASA can do or Congress can help you do that will create more incentives for states to invest or the private sector to make bigger investments and take more of the risk?
I think that's a wonderful question. I'd love to take it for the record. I can tell you there's a team of people sitting behind me that would love to come up with a list of things states can do to help us, and I'm sure we can provide that to you, sir.
Well, I'm sure all these states want the work done in their state, and they want to be proud of the work done in their state, and so they do. I think many people would do the same thing Florida did if there was an opportunity.
I think you're right, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.